All right, so we have 7 minutes for a message here before I got to jump on a call with a client. And what Spirit told me to share with you is a breakthrough that I had today on urgency. You cannot be abundant when you have urgency. That is the channeled message. And this message is going to be for a select few because it's going to be very, very personalized based on what popped in the channel today. And it was so cool. And urgency, forever I thought I was healing scarcity, which would show up at the worst times. There's not enough time, there's not enough energy, there's not enough money, there's not enough of anything, right? And like scarcity sucks, but through essentially Jupiter sitting on my Chiron and then Chiron sitting on my Venus, I got a double lesson at once, and then went to Atlanta, which in astrocartography is actually on my Chiron. So I got a triple activation, and this is like a month of like hell. It was just like driving for Uber endlessly when I'm a dope creative, and just like bills popping out of nowhere with like a $200, just a scarcity fee is what you can call it, right? And it's like, if you relate to this message is 100% for you, because I literally, when that all happened, I was just like, head down, let's get through it. But in doing it, I was acting urgently. Like when I'd wake up, it wasn't like let's go drive Uber. It was like, woke up an hour later than I normally do. Oh crap, we're an hour behind. And then driving for Uber. And the cool thing about a car in traffic is like, you can't make it go any faster. And even though you can't make it go any faster, my natural tendency was to do it urgently. Like, all right, we got this ride, we got that ride, we got that ride, we got that ride, we got that. And then I'd come home and be exhausted and be like, damn. And then not enough energy. And then I would try to sleep, but not enough sleep. And I caught it really quickly, because this is a lesson I've been through for the last, I would say 7 years, 8 years. I think that was my Uranus going into Taurus, which is in my 4th house of home, security, stability, family, like all that stuff got obliterated over the last 8 years. And that was like a big, big part of my entrepreneurial journey, as it probably was in yours. You might not have Uranus in the 4th house, but you might have it in a different aspect, because as Uranus just shift into Gemini, now it's in my 5th house. Now the self is so unpredictable, and it's so cool because I'm building a personal brand, and I'm like surprising myself every day, as you probably are too, right? But it's like today I surprised myself, and this is what I really wanted to share with you. So the first 2.5 minutes was to get the people here off that this video wasn't for, right? It's like you kind of got to talk them out, and then the people who stay, like this is where the gold comes out. Is today I woke up and I was tired, and I wasn't. And this is directly like, I'm going to speak through the I. I'll try to shift it to you, but you can feel what's for you through what I say and take what's for you, okay? So it's like I went to the gym today, and I wasn't depleted, but I wasn't energized. And I was like, man, this feels good. Like I just want to go and get a workout in. And I woke up at a normal time, right? And then I go to the gym, and I choose to go to a new gym today. And I kid you not, I was like, man, this gym looks nice. And it was beautiful, and I was like, all right, we're stepping into luxury, cool. And then I noticed how I felt, and it was calm, it was grounded, I wasn't in a rush, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm dead. I was just like, this gym's cool. And then I walk around, I'm checking it out, and there's my buddy Scott. And Scott's always a good omen in my life. It's like, we never talk back and forth, but when I find him, he always leads me to something good, or he's like a good glimmer, right? Like you probably have people in your life that are your glimmer beacons, right? Like I just literally saw him, we both smiled, and he was like, kind of like, you found me. And I was like, I found you. And then we were just catching up real quick, and then he was like, yeah, I work out here all the time, you should join here. And I was like, yeah, definitely, like this gym looks cool. And not even to like hang out with Scott, it's just like, it's a cool vibe. And I noticed how I felt leaving that gym versus like the old gym I went to. It was like I'd leave there, I was a little scattered, a little fragmented, and it was like an urgency gym. And it's like everybody there was in this energy of urgency. Versus like everybody at this gym today was in this very grounded, very stable, very secure, and not rapidly stroking their ego lifting. They were just kind of, everybody was there just on a vibe, pumping weights just to get their bodies energized, and then would leave. And I was like, wow, what a vibe, right? But it's like, and then I noticed all this. So then I was driving home, and when I drive, I tend to channel, and I do daily dumps where I rate myself from 0 to 10 mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. It's a hack. And then from there, I see angel numbers everywhere, and I track them, and then I pull tarot, and I do all this, and it's so cool to see it all synchronized together. And I'm going to be dropping this software I guess it's going to be an app, I guess. And Scott actually helps build apps. So, see how it's all aligning. But it's like, when you think about it, it's like I've solved my own problem through AI. And then in reflecting of this gym I went to today and seeing all the omens, I caught them. And then the synchronicities and everything's working together. And then what I realized, and I built a guide that I can probably share in this video, or it'll be a link to on my site, byCHRIS.io. It's a full ecosystem called Eden. But, what I realized was like, I literally got the full look on the urgency that I was in, because I thought I was in scarcity, but it's urgency. And it was like, no matter what I was doing, if I had all the time in the world or no time at all, I was like, we got to go fast. And then I'd catch myself and be like, why am I going fast? And then I'd slow down. But today I caught myself in the opposite, the slow, the grounded, the going with the flow and honoring the flow and not trying to direct the flow. But I noticed I wasn't urgent. I'm just kind of like, not meandering, but it's very intentional, very grounded. And that is such a beautiful space to live in. And if you can get to that space of letting go of urgency and step into slow, grounded, regulated, chill, but stuff still gets done. There's no stress, there's no pressure, there's no anxiety, there's no urgency. And it opens up the door to abundance where everything tends to find you. And I think it's a frequency, right? Everything in this world's a frequency. Success doesn't take stress, pressure, anxiety, and hard work. What they're really doing is burning out those four so that people can step into grounded, chill, regulated, smooth. It's like smooth is fast, fast is smooth. That's my call telling me that I need to jump on. But it's like, I think this is a good point to wrap up this message. It was very short, very clear. It's like, in order to step into the new frequency of abundance, you need to be grounded, you need to be regulated, you need to stop chasing pressure, stress, and anxiety, and just open up to the chill. But, and I'm gonna warn you, when you're in this like chill, regulated state, it's almost more difficult because a lot of us operate from scarcity or urgency. But when you step in this state, you still get stuff done. It's just slow, methodical, and it seems at first like you're working harder to get to the same point, but what you're really doing is letting go of those negative emotions and you're opening up into the new one. And even though the new one doesn't feel comfortable yet, trust it, lean into it, play with it, allow it to show you what unfolds. And even if you get a piece of paper out, this will be the end of this, is get a piece of paper out. And I'm doing this with like urgency. Any action that I felt urgent, I'm tracking. Any action when I found it felt grounded, regulated, and just going with the flow, I'm tracking. So I can see if it's 50-50, 25-75, because the whole idea is not to kill that part of yourself, but to shrink it, allow it to disappear, and really open up this new bubble over here that's opening of the grounded, regulated, and abundant. Because even though this seems foreign, that's what you're leaning into, because if it's foreign, it's not this old pattern. If it's this old pattern, it's going to feel familiar. But what feels foreign is actually what you're leaning into. And you need to approach it, tell your ego to figure out what's for dinner, what you're going to wear, or like what you need to get done today. And then that'll allow your ego to suppress all that with it. And then you're opening up into discovering what grounded and regulated and abundant is for you. Whew. We're going to leave it here. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if I created a shift in you, or even drop and share down below. I want this to be a space and an online community where people can hear the message, relate to it, and also share what they're going through and what they found in it. Because I don't want to be the only one here teaching and talking and sharing. I want to create a community where everybody is contributing to it and helping one another, because humans are in the 3D. That's why we talk, and talking, we're meant to transfer knowledge and stories and expertise to help the next person. So continue to do that. Thank you so much. I'll be here the next time. Peace out and have a good day.